this is the final season of You, how would you describe your character of Bronte and how she fits into this season?
Bronte's an enigma, as she's supposed to be. So that's one thing. Bronte is intelligent, she's savvy, she's cunning, or she can be cunning, I should say. And she, like anybody who runs into Joe Goldberg, she just wants to be loved.
I love that. And I know that you're coming off of The Handmaid's Tale and from this. So what was it like jumping from that set straight to this one? Two very heavy shows.
What's funny is it was the opposite. I went from this set straight to that set. Well, because Handmaid's, we had a very long gap. And in the gap between season 5 and season 6, I shot You. It just so happens that Handmaid's came out before this one, before You. So it was definitely a change. I felt really excited to just dive into a completely different character and into a character for a long time, like a couple of months. You know, movies, you can only do about like a month or some change. And this, I really got to dive deep. I love this show. I've been a fan of this show since it was on Lifetime. I'm just a huge fan. I've seen every season like the day it comes out. And I did a full rewatch when I found out I was cast, which was so exciting. And I'm just honored. I'm so honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of its ending, its conclusion. And I've always felt like the show is so much more important than it's given credit for. And I'm truly honored and excited to be a part of that final bit.
What was your reaction when you first read those final scripts? And do you think fans will be satisfied with Joe's ending?
I think by the finale, there's not a lot left for fans to feel like he's been redeemable every season. We see him and we're like, but he's this, but he did this, but it's a very classic anti-hero thing. But I think and I hope by the end, he's become a little bit irredeemable. As if the murder wasn't enough. But I like to think that by the end, they might be on the side of the survivor. I hope. And if not, that's a whole other conversation. But I'm very excited about where we end up. And I think that Joe's ending is a fitting ending.
Well, I know there's a lot of talk about who Joe's most iconic love interest is. So I wanted to know for you, though, who would have been his best match had he not become this obsessive serial killer?
I can't even say one person, and I know I should because that's the question. But Joe, I don't think. Joe is Joe's most fitting companion.
There's no one for him.
There's nobody for him. Until he decides to acknowledge who he is and what he's done, I don't think there's any hope for Joe Goldberg. And maybe he finds that in himself to acknowledge, and maybe he doesn't. And there's no one that's irredeemable, I don't think, with obvious exceptions, as I also work on The Handmaid's Tale. But Joe to the very end is, I don't know, I think, oh my God, I'm like talking in circles. He's so complicated. I also feel, as like playing Bronte for a while, like I feel a lot of tenderness towards him and his past and his vulnerabilities and his trauma. And so it's hard to look at it fully objectively. But I do think his ending is fitting.
Like leaving us on a tease. Well, we're so excited to watch.
I want to. It's a lot. It's everything happens in a way that you will not suspect it. I will say that.